It's not supposed to snow in April, Charlotte Walsh. And that's what happened last night. We're coming to you from empty right now. Charles River running in Norwood. How are you?
I'm great this morning. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing okay. I did not expect to see a little bit of snow on my car. Now, I know this isn't a big deal. I know it was just a dusting, but this is New England. This is where we live.
True.
So a year ago at this time, you were basking in the glow of being on the cover of Westwood Living.
That was great. I have to admit, I enjoyed it.
I have to tell you this. I knew about you before I knew you. You were nominated. Yes.
Wow.
Somebody I knew about the store too because I'd been here, and I didn't know you. And somebody said, "Do you know that the woman who owns Charles River Running in Norwood is from Westwood?" I'm like, "No, I didn't." "Did you know that she was a Marine?" I'm like, "Whoa, no, I didn't." And they said, "You should really do a story on her." And so that's how it started. And I reached out to you, and I'm so grateful that you let us tell your story because it's so unique. I love anybody who knows me and has been around me for many years knows that I'm real big into women's empowerment. I love driven women who start their own businesses, and I was fascinated by the fact you were in the military. So there was so much to talk about and feature. I think it came together great. I think Rick took a great shot of you running through hail.
It was
an
fun.
Action shot.
Yeah.
So what was the feedback you kind of got from your circle of people who all of a sudden saw you being a mini celebrity?
Yeah, well, they all did a double take. They thought, is that Charlotte on the cover? No, I got a lot of great feedback about it. A lot of people didn't know the backstory, so they enjoyed learning about that. And I did get some new customers from Westwood to come over and say, "Hey, I'm coming here because you're from Westwood, and I'm coming here because you're a veteran." And so, yeah, thanks for that story. It was a nice boost.
It was great. And I want to quickly reference the fact that your 3 children are all in the military right now, currently. So this is a military family.
We are, as is their dad. My oldest actually got out last spring. He served over 5 years. He got out as a captain in the Marine Corps, and now he's living in Southie and living that life and, has a professional job. But my younger 2 are still in. Yeah, my daughter is in the Air Force. She's about to be promoted to captain in May. I'm going to be there for that. She's stationed in Germany. And my youngest is right now graduating from the basic school in Quantico, Virginia, which for people that don't know, that is a 6-month school that all Marine officers go through. It's very difficult because every Marine officer is taught first how to be a basic infantry officer. So every single person has to get through that before they can go on to their next school.
And you had to do that.
I had to do that. Yeah.
Can you quickly tell the story, and this was my next topic anyway, of how you ended up following the path to becoming a Marine? Because I found it so almost funny.
Okay. So, third of 4 children, parents, public school teachers, the college funds had been expired by the time I got around, but I really wanted to go to college. And so I had heard about this thing about ROTC, and I thought, oh, that's great. And so I got the phone book. This is when there were phone books and phones, and my parents certainly did not lead me around or take me on college tours. So it was kind of up to me to get this thing going. And I went down to an interview with the Navy ROTC recruiting office in Milwaukee. So I got in the big Buick station wagon, drove my butt down there, walked up to the office, and I knock on the door, and I'm here to interview. I'd love to get a scholarship from the Navy to go to college. And they're like, yeah, sorry, we're out of the women's scholarships, but there's a guy down the hall. I don't know if you've ever heard about him, the Marine Corps. I'm like, yeah, whatever, go down there. I think they got some scholarships left for women. And sure enough, I was like red meat. They could not wait because it's hard to find women to get into the Marine Corps. I didn't know about it, but I found out later. But yeah, I got a scholarship. Yeah, I got to go to school, and then I got to serve in the Marine Corps for 5 years at the pleasure of the president, and it was a great experience.
And working on planes primarily, right?
Yes, I was an aircraft maintenance officer, so I was in charge of the folks that fix the Harriers, AVAP jets, which have since been kind of serviced out of the fleet. But it was fun. It was exciting.
So you are a task-oriented person and a go-getter and a doer, and now you own Charles River Running. So that's probably a combination of your passions, which is obviously movement and running and engagement, and it's really a community of people who are that running community. This is a big month. Obviously, you're showcasing it because it's Boston Marathon month, but has running always been a part of your life, and what ultimately led you to want to do something like this, run your own business and have it be a running store?
Yeah, so running, I like to tell people that running has always been my best friend. It's still my best friend. It's no matter where I live, no matter what I'm going through, I always have running as a companion, and it's something I, do a couple times a week. So running has always been a thread that has run through my life. I've also had a real entrepreneurial spirit. I've always wanted to have my own business. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And there was a period in my life where I was transitioning out of being a full-time parent. I went to work for a specialty run store part-time, and that's when I thought, hey, wouldn't this be a great business to open? So when I relocated here, I spent 6 months writing a business plan and then opened a store within 9 months of moving here.
Wow. So there's a lot here. I'm seeing clothes, I'm seeing hats, I'm seeing shoes, I'm seeing bags, I'm seeing sneakers. How does that evolve? How do you know what to stock?
Yeah, that's a really great question. It's just having been a runner for so long, I know, running's a pretty low, equipment sport. You only need a couple things. So, I'm not huge into upselling people things they don't need, but you do need some clothing, and shoes really, it's the shoes and the socks really make the experience. So you look around the store and pretty much everything you see here you can buy on the internet from your couch. But what makes specialty running special is that we really want to get you in the right shoe. It's confusing. There's so many shoes out there, and you really can't get a good idea of what you need and what you want unless you come to a store, have your foot measured, answer a lot of questions, try some things on, and have the experience that's really gonna equate to your success in your journey of running and walking.
So what are the hot brands now? I'm
Okay.
looking over there. I see Hoka. I
Yeah.
see On. I have some On sneakers on myself right now.
Yep.
Which I'm fascinated by that whole business model because Roger Federer just said, you don't have to pay me, but I just want part of your business and I'll make my money that way. I mean, amazing that kind of happened because it sprouted up a little bit out of nowhere. But go ahead.
Yeah. So when I started in the industry, the big five were always Asics, New Balance, Saucony, Brooks. What am I forgetting? Oh, Mizuno, the big five. So things have evolved in the last couple of years. Hoka came on the scene to America probably about 11, 12 years ago. I was an early adopter of that idea. I mean, the shoe looked very strange. It was very tall. It had a rocker bottom. But I thought that concept would mean a lot to my mature athletes here in Norwood and Westwood, and that's that New England is unique in that everyone is very sporty, but they don't drop their sports out of high school or college. They just keep doing their sports. And in their mind, I think they envision themselves as the youthful, sporty person, and they don't quit. So the Hoka shoe added cushion and a little bit of engineering to the bottom of the shoe that allowed my mature athletes to keep going because they're not going to stop. That company, which came on after I opened the store, changed the running shoe industry immensely. And now all the brands have adopted this concept of more cushion and more engineering to the shape of the bottom of the shoe, and also made the rest of the companies evolve and get better. I tell people now that this is the very best time in the history of running shoes to go shopping for a running shoe, because there's not going to be one clear best shoe that you put on. You're going to have to really think about, wow, I mean, all four of these feel fantastic, and that's because the industry has really risen to the moment.
One of the things you do that I love, and sometimes you get mad at me that I have my parties on Thursday, you have built community. That seems to be so important to you, and your community is built through a series of events that you host, typically on Thursday nights. But take us through the growth of that running community, how you gather people consistently, and what someone can expect if they want to join, whether it's a walk or a run that you organize here.
Yeah, so when I first moved to the area, I joined a couple running clubs, and they were really wonderful and fantastic, but they were very fast, and they were all business. Like very early in the morning, always training for a marathon or, an arduous event, and pretty serious. And I thought, well, where is the club for people that aren't so goal-oriented, or maybe the meets after work, because what I love about running and walking is that anybody and everybody can do it. You don't have to be a certain age or have a certain ability level or experience level or look a certain way or weigh a certain amount of pounds. Everybody can do it. And so I wanted to create an environment where people weren't intimidated and they felt comfortable and met some people and were able to talk, but at the same time get that very necessary movement in their day. So Thursday Strong, which is the club that meets here, started with 4 people, and I do have the original photo
That's
of
awesome.
the 4 people. And it was a winter night, and we were all wearing like day glow clothes. I think we were laying on the floor, and I took the picture from above of just our heads, and we were laughing because it was so hysterical. I think it was snowing outside or 20 below or something, and I'm like, I can't believe you guys showed up. But it's grown to a Thursday evening group. We usually get between 80 and 100 people to sign up for each session.
That's insane.
It's very affordable. It's $100 for 6 months. You don't have to come every time. Come when you can. We run around town. We run on the sidewalks, or we walk. You don't have to. We don't run in a big group. I mean, people settle into their own paces. Some people like to run alone with their music, and other people will run with 2 or 3 other people that are the same pace. And people get a lot of stuff figured out in that 30 to 45 minutes when they're walking and talking.
You see, I can walk and talk. I cannot run and talk. If I'm talking and I'm running, I'm not running hard enough. That's what I tell myself.
Interesting.
I can't. Someone will start chatting me up if
Yeah.
and when I ever do run. And I'm like, nope. No offense. This is not a talking endeavor. No, I could walk and talk. That's
Yeah.
fine. And I do enjoy that because you end up walking longer than you ever thought you would when you're with somebody.
Right. Yeah, same with running.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So one of the things that I mentioned before is that Charlotte is very diligent. So one of the things that she's always on top of is getting me all of the events. So what you need to do is go to westwood-living.com and go to our calendar of events page, and you'll always see when there's an event that's here at Charles River Running. It might be the Thursday Strong group, but there's also a lot of demo days where you have a specific brand. I know it's a little bit down the road, but I'm looking at your chalkboard right now, and on June 12th, you have a Brooks demo. So Brooks, what? They send a rep. They walk people through the shoe. Take me through what a demo is like.
Yeah, a demo is great. So everyone is welcome to come on demo nights, and the rep does come. He brings she brings these giant suitcases of demo shoes, and usually it's the latest shoe that they've released. It's a shoe we carry here at the store, and they'll bring a size for everyone. So you just come up to the table, we ask you a couple questions, we put you in the right size shoe, you put the shoe on, and you're able to run or walk with us, or you could just walk around the store and hang out and ask questions. So it's a nice opportunity to try the shoe before you buy the shoe. And you don't have to buy the shoe, but it's just a nice way to see what the shoe's all about in action.
So folks, you're in for a treat because this is actually a double header. We're going to wrap up this episode, but if you continue to autoplay here, you're going to hear a second episode with Charlotte where we're going to talk about a completely different topic, because among her passions, flowers. And we're going to talk Dorothy's Flower Garden. But before we do that, the final salvo, which is the address here. What's the address?
679 Washington Street, right in Norwood Center.
So come pay a visit, say hi to Charlotte. The Thursday Strong group kicks off on May 15th, so just pop on by and sign up, and it could be a new addition to your life. It's a nice time to just be connecting with people, right? Absolutely. So hang tight. That's phase 1. We will return momentarily, autoplay, episode 2 with Charlotte, and we're talking flowers. But for now, thanks for listening, and we'll talk soon.